Do you feel stuck in Warzone no matter how much you play? Most players think it's all about aim and movement, but that's only part of the story. In today's video, I'm coaching two players, one on Rebirth, one on Verdansk, breaking down their gameplay and exposing the key mistakes that are holding them back. And what you learn today could completely change how you play Warzone. Okay, so we're gonna start this off on Rebirth here, guys. If you're only interested in Verdansk, here's the timestamp on screen for you. You can go ahead and jump forward to that now. We're going to jump in today with Big Puffin. He is a YouTuber and content creator in the Warzone space. His YouTube channel and Twitch are in the pinned comments. You can absolutely go check him out. Playing some solo duos here. This is a pretty normal game, he said. And more importantly, let's jump into ED and PR real quick just to kind of go over those and kind of paint this picture of your skill level. So what is your ED and what is your PR?
My ED is 1.72 and then PR on Rebirth 21.
Okay, so we have dropped a 20 before. Obviously, now we're going to talk about how do we drop more 20s. I always tell people this. There's like a brick wall with that 20. Once you hit it once, it's very easy to do again, but you've just got to get that first one under your belt. Average KD is around like a 1, or ED is probably like a 1.2-ish, so he definitely above average. Focusing on aim, movement, positioning, and gameplay strategy. Now, playing solo duos, let's see what we got here. So you kind of have two choices in this situation, right? And I'm really okay with either. You know, option number one is right here, you are low plates. So I like the play that you kind of push through here to break this line of sight. Now, immediately here, you have your FFAR out, right? So if you fly around this corner and the angle that you're going to have to get to, you're going to have to swing this a little bit wide. Let me see if I can pull it to like the right spot. You've got to swing this a little bit wide. Yeah, you've got to kind of get to where you are right now because you have to know that this guy is going to kind of keep pushing around here. So when you re-challenge that and push through, you want to get super wide here without chasing him, right? I'm always thinking about like angles and where I'm susceptible and trying to really limit the number of angles that I can get shot from. But I'm also okay with you saying, hey, like we're 12 seconds into this game here. I had a pistol fight, which we don't really love and are super annoying, but we got the FFAR, we're plated. Let's go ahead and kind of figure out what our next move is.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely guys around you here. Good. One guy above, one guy down below. Or sorry, one guy on your level, one guy down below. Oh. Okay, so why do you think you die here? And I want, if you guys are watching this video, I want you to think about, watch it again, okay? I want you to think about why he died, and I want you to think about why you died here. It's probably not what you think. So what do you think?
I, at first glance, thought it was I hit legs and body with an AR, and he had an SMG, so he got chest and head on that with the jumping movement. But that was my first thing there.
Yeah. So, and this is where it is important to like kind of watch your games back if you can. I understand that not everybody can, but when we really look at aim, movement, positioning, gameplay strategy, and then the bonus one is anticipation and centering, which I did not mention in the beginning here. But when you fly around this corner, like we're not ready, right? So we don't have crosshairs out ready to shoot, which means then we kind of have to get crosshairs out. Who gets first shot? So you guys are about even, right? Obviously, at this point, this fight gets really, really difficult. The one thing I always think about with your centering is just time your slide cancels. That's it. Like we all slide cancel. All you have to do is just time them so that it's around the corner. And you're perfectly fine. Like, see how your crosshairs aren't out here? If we run a little bit longer here, right? If we run a little bit longer here, so you slide cancel right there. Instead of slide canceling right there, I want you to like slide cancel right here so your crosshairs are out. And then more importantly, again, you want to slide cancel again, kind of a short choppy. This way your crosshairs are out ready to go, just in case there is anybody in here. You know, we don't know if anybody's in here, although we had the previous info. So we're kind of guessing a little bit, but it's just a matter of like actually being ready. You're not caught in attack sprint here, but you are caught in a sprint, which just takes even longer. Obviously, first shot. And that's a situation that we kind of never want to find ourselves in. That is a really tough situation right there. That head-on, close quarters, 50-50. Like, that's a really, really tough spot to be. So 2 kills early. Let's see what we got. A little bit of regain action. Want to keep in mind zone here, but we're definitely okay. And by the way, guys, if you are looking to get better, I always say this, guys, give me 30 days. Subscribe down below, watch my videos. I promise you'll become a better player. And if not, after 30 days, guys, let's be honest, you can always unsubscribe. I totally get it. But I guarantee that's not going to happen. I guarantee it. Let's go ahead and jump back in here. And now we're just prioritizing loadout. When we talk about early game strategy, this is an area that a lot of people struggle. With you landing at control, I'm okay with you going for kills, right? If we walk away, if we get loadout, great. If we get 2 to 3 kills, great. If we 2 to 3 kills and then die, that's totally fine, right? I'm looking for like 4 kills in the first circle for a 20 kill game. You know, really just trying to make sure that we either get off to a good start kill-wise or we get that loadout down. And it kind of depends on drop spot. Do you always land control?
Yeah, predominantly.
Yeah. So you should be going in there going, hey, if I want to get loadout down here, but let me do it by winning control and getting kills in the process. If I die and we pick up 4 or 2 in this case, great. We're still in a good spot. If I win it and we pick up 0, that's also fine because we get loadout down. Now, the one thing I'll add to that as we're looting up here is if at any point in time you have 6K in your case or 10K as a squad, even if you're at control, throw loadout and then you can go back to fighting. We're losing a little bit of pace here, but this is one where you can't get antsy. It's so hard not to get antsy in this situation and try to go push. But, like, you really just got to focus on that loadout dynamic. And I'm okay with this. Let's see what we do from here, though, because this should be loadout. Yeah, I think you're spending a little bit too long here. Like, I do think we're spending a little bit too long trying to, like, get loadout down. Now, obviously, there's only so much we can do when we loot up. But I think just in general, if you kind of watch, like, as you're pushing around here, you know, just trying to loot quicker. I always say, like, the biggest difference between let's go both ends of the spectrum, a bot lobby and a super sweaty lobby is the pace that everything happens at. Right? The movement's a little bit quicker. The decision-making's a little bit quicker. But even just, like, you see it with these top guys, like, how fast they're looting. Like, it's just, there's no thoughts. Even there, like, that's definitely fine. Boom, we're moving. But then we kind of get up top here, and now we have enough for loadout, and we're still kind of thinking about, do I want this gun? Do I want that gun? And even here, at this point, like, right now, I'm jumping down. Gone. See ya. Let's go get loadout. Not thinking about anything. And instead, you kind of focus over here towards this guy that's dolphin diving across. Calling him mortar. Like, I'm not too concerned about these guys in this moment.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Do you have any questions thus far? Uh-oh, watch heli. Now we are a little bit concerned. Yeah, now we... Oh, my gosh. Oh, you just shot the wrong guy. I'm going to be honest here. This is a little bit of a tough decision here. Okay. I'm going to be honest. Yeah, this guy tried to clip you. So the moment that I see this guy is the aggressive, like, this guy's just chilling up here, right? As soon as I see that this guy puts himself in a bad spot because he just tried to snipe you in parachute pull, I'm shooting this guy. I'm snapping across this way. I'm taking this guy out, and then I'm going to worry about what this guy does next, right? This guy's a little bit higher. You know, this guy's obviously super, super aggressive. He's close to the ground, which is exactly the problem, right? Like, you shoot him, and by the time you're able to get him down, it's not even like you missed a ton of shots and you have a GPR, which has a good TTK. It's just that he was so close to the ground that by the time, you know, you get here, you end up, it's too late. And here's the bigger problem. So this is where big picture we start to look at gameplay strategy. What do we do from here? Well, there's 2 things that I want to really highlight in this situation. Okay. That is number 1, which is loadout drops 15 seconds. But more importantly, look at how much cash you have. Okay. You've got 4,250. This is one of the biggest mistakes that I see players make and squads make is, like, you don't get for whatever reason, you don't get the loadout down. You have enough cash. You don't get loadout down. And then what happens? One of you dies. You don't have enough cash. Now we've got to go hit free loadout. That means free loadout disappears. Then we die once. Now we're in the full blender. We can't get loadout guns. We're fighting with floor loot, and the game becomes miserable, right? But that all happens because we don't go buy loadout right here.
Right.
That's where I buy loadout. I'm okay with you popping up here, right? I'm okay with you. Okay, orange crate. We get a little bit lucky there. We grab the satchel. We should grab the satchel. We did not grab the satchel. But immediately here, we've got to think loadout. And then, of course, it is what it is. You know, we end up making a wrong decision. But immediately here, we pull shoot, try to figure out what our next move is. I'm looking at circle. Two things I always look for here is how much cash do I have? Playing solo duos, if you have 6K or anywhere close to 6K, we know we're close to loadout. But more importantly, 15 seconds is when this drops, this free loadout. So I would just float here. I would just chill. I mean, I'll float if it's a minute. If it's at a minute and I have loadout at 15 seconds, I'm going to just chill for a little bit and let that come down.
Yeah, I didn't even look at that, so that makes total sense. I wasn't even thinking that.
What do we got here? Ladra. And I'm still thinking maybe buy loadout at this point, but we also want to try to get some momentum going here. You know, we can kind of feel where there's no rhythm, right? There's no... Yeah. And I'm going to be doing another video on this soon where we just talk about, it can be very simple. Loadout, kills, endgame, right? And if at any point in time you die, we go back to the beginning. Loadout, kills, die. Loadout, kills, die. Loadout, kills, endgame, right? So if at any point we die, like, loadout is where we always go back to. Now, this is the first video that I am talking about this. If you guys have watched my streams at all, which we stream on Twitch and YouTube, by the way, Monday through Friday, 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern time, but you guys have caught this. This is a big thing that I have not talked about before. If at any point in time you get a loadout crate, okay, your first thought needs to be biometric scanner. I don't care if it's first circle or last circle. Here's why. Previously, with our biometric scanners, right, the benefit was we get perks, right, which were great. We obviously get lethal tactical, right, and we get cash. Now, cash meant that we could buy guns, okay? And buying guns means when we look at this whole thing right here, this is our full loadout. Except they removed the ability to buy guns, which means biometric scanners are pretty much useless except for the cash dynamic, because even if we get perks, lethals, and tacticals, we still don't have guns. So what does that mean? As soon as we get our guns, we go all the way back to here. As soon as we get our guns right here, well, now we go biometric scanner, which gives us perks, lethals, tacticals, and there's our full loadout. Now, I would even go one step further and say, as a squad, like, obviously you're playing solo duos, but if you're ever playing in like trios or quads, like, still go biometric scanner and now use the cash. You buy loadout for your teammates as well. And now all of a sudden you have a full loadout. You have free loadout as a squad that you can still hit to regain. And you have the loadout that you bought to regain. And now all of a sudden, don't really have to worry about having, you know, fighting with loadout because we have it the entire game. And at that point, I'm going to be honest with you, got this loadout, you've got free loadout, you've got buying a loadout, potentially you hit the free loadout or bought loadout multiple times. At that point, if we die 4 times or 3 times and we lose it again, like, then we are in the blender and we just, you know, it's a little bit of a tough spot. So,
right.
First time I've really talked about that. It's something that really dawned on me recently where we can use that biometric scanner in a different way now, and we kind of have to because they aren't nearly as valuable as they were before. Because here's what's going to happen. If you go hit, yeah, you're going to go hit free loadout, and then your guns are going to drop down. Oh, so, okay, so you went that way. Okay, so you can go that way as well. Absolutely, you can go double gunfighter, for sure. That's another way that you can use it, 100%. So you can go gunfighter SMG for sure, and then obviously you go gunfighter primary. So one of those two ways. Depends on how much you want to value gunfighter versus overkill. I love overkill just because I keep it simple. I probably should value gunfighter a little bit more, especially with some of the primaries right now. Now, the biggest thing here so far is, like, we haven't really had that momentum. We had those 2 kills early, but now we could... Okay, TR2, which, by the way, was nerfed today. TR2 and DM10 both nerfed. What do we got here? Let's see what happens. Okay, this gets interesting. Okay, so let's go back to our drawing board here. Let's talk positioning. Now, let me quickly breeze through this, because I don't. This is more of just something that I've broken down over a ton of coaching sessions, which is when we talk about positioning, we have info, okay, range, cover, high ground, okay, and angles. So in this case, you had info because you saw these guys, right? Honestly, I was going to say we weren't in a good range for the TR2, although you broke that guy. But even if you get this down right here, I don't think you can get the thirst. I don't think there's any way, which means those guys are going to revive, right? So I would say technically here, you're not in a good range. Then, of course, whenever we're approaching a fight, we need to make sure we have cover, which you do. We need to make sure we have high ground. We want to try to get high ground. This is like not 100% necessary, but we want to at least try, because again, it helps us getting that thirst. The reason you can't get the thirst here on this guy, if you get the down, is because you're low ground, right? And he's just going to scoot back. And then angles, just making sure we have a good angle to challenge. Now, if any one of these is off, right, we have to fix it. So if we don't have information, got to figure out. You can't fight people and play positioning unless you have info. So that's kind of where it all begins. But then we start to look at range, right? The range of the TR2, the range of the Kilo, the GPR. If we're at 92 meters, don't pull the trigger, right? Unless that guy is completely out in the open. It's so important when it comes to positioning to play your element of surprise. The moment that you pull the trigger, the gunfight is going to become a lot tougher, especially when you are fighting outnumbered, right? So we have information. Are we in a good range? Again, no. So what do we do? Instead of pulling the trigger here, right? Don't pull the trigger. Just work your way up, right? Let's just start working our way towards prison. Obviously, we don't have tower here that we could challenge from. That'd be high ground and everything. But I would just start working my way to prison and say, hey, I'm going to go fight those guys. Obviously, we have bounty over in prison as well. We know that this is the hot area here. So, like, we kind of really want to get in here. Ideally top. And then from there, it's like, okay, make sure you challenge with cover. Make sure you have a good angle on those guys. So let's see what we do from here. Watch you prove me wrong and be able to do all of these things from this spot. But can we get the thirst? So this is a great example of angles, right? This is why I throw the angles on at the end. Because, like, hey, okay, we have information because this guy flies down or this guy zips up and then we're able to get the down right there. And then I guess we're in a good range for the TR2. You know, we have cover, we have high ground from his teammate, or we have cover from his teammate, but we don't have an angle to get the thirst. So we've got to figure out, like, okay, what am I doing here? Am I trying to get closer? Am I trying to figure out where this guy is? And there he goes, right? Now they throw the smoke. Now they get the revive. Back in a 1v2 situation because we didn't capitalize. Oh, kill confirmed. You got the kill confirmed. What's your thought?
What's your on this building?
I was gonna say, what's your thought?
Yeah, I feel like I'm like stuck on this building. Like I waited too long. I took too much time. I should have. As soon as he went down, in my opinion, I should have just jumped down and flowed down after and finished it because I'm too far away. And then I'm almost like I feel like my body's in cement. Like I'm stuck on top of this building when I really should have pushed forward.
Can I ask you a bigger question?
Yeah.
Why?
Why did I not move?
Yes.
I was trying to play it safe so I didn't die. So I thought it would be a good idea to keep my distance because if I was farther away, I had more control and I had less control when I was closer.
Yeah. Which is the case, but this is where when we talk about positioning, right? Or I guess not even positioning, we talk about fighting in general, right? On Rebirth, my thought is always 20 to 30 meters, right?
Okay.
That's where my head goes when approaching a fight, right? And why? Well, because at this range, based on the primaries, we've got a great TTK, right? We have a ton of outplay potential because we're 20 to 30 meters away, as long as we have cover, right? As long as we have that cover and we can break that line of sight, we have a great TTK, we have the outplay potential, and just in general, guns are easier to use in this range, right?
Right.
Like you start, obviously, it's harder to down an enemy that's up here than it is to down an enemy that's on the shack here. So
Right.
that's where that 20 to 30 meter range is where I'm thinking about playing positioning. And then once we get the kill, then obviously we go to eyes go to minimap here. And then we can start to take those 1v1s a little bit more head on where we are anticipation centering, you know, and kind of going back to that first fight in control, except we have more information. There we go. Now we're going. And by the way, the problem with not getting, the problem in that first situation with not getting the thirst was you don't get the information.
Right.
See what we do from here. You are very reliant on that heartbeat sensor. Yeah, I can't quite get the down. Okay, so we can keep fighting this team. Obviously, one thing we're lacking right here is weapon pings.
Right.
One of the biggest things that I notice is you are reacting to what is happening. Like you're just sort of, I mean, that guy just got deleted. I wonder what range that's at. But you see how like you're just kind of waiting for things to happen. You're like waiting for people to over peak. You know, like in this situation right here. Like my thought is, I mean, you could have two thoughts here. Number one is beeline to here, and then you start to work your way up. Again, there's a ladder on the backside of prison. You can jump up this way. That would probably be too aggressive. But you can either work this window and work all the way around to the zip, or you could take the ladder. But I'm trying to think about, okay, how do I fight these guys on the rooftop? That's the only information that I have right now. Right now, Then from here, you're like, okay, I'm gonna look over this way, and you're just kind of like hoping to see people. There's no real control. There's no real, and the problem is when you're just hoping to see people, like you kind of lose a little bit of that element of surprise. You just don't have control of the situation.
Right.
I would
you have I was gonna ask you. Yeah. So like in that situation, if you're in that fight and you have that on the roof, like would you have gone through the window? Like how you would have played that?
This rooftop team?
Yeah.
Let me see. So obviously we have that info over there. Where was this?
Right.
Okay, let me see. Give me a controller. This is how I always do this. I'm going straight. Yeah, I'm going knife and straight ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm 100%. I'm going knife and I'm getting into that window there.
Okay. Yeah.
I know the second one's up there, but I'm going knife and I'm going straight through and I'm getting into this window. And then from there, I can figure out what my next move is, right? I mean, look, here's the thing. Fights can take a long time sometimes. You could push all the way. I don't know where gas is in particular here, but you could push all the way down to the other side of prison, push up the stairs, and then work your way back to the other side of prison. That is sometimes how fights are going to be. And you would never believe how many times that I go this way, I jump up, and you know what? I can't get the down. So what do? Okay, we work back down, we work through, we work towards the ladder, we take the ladder. Can't quite get the down, okay? We give away location again. So what do? We go ahead, we work down, we work all the way over to zip, we push up. Now all of a sudden we do get the down here. We figure out what our next move is to put the pressure on. It's like this puzzle, and I think people try to press to you. A lot of people play like the complete ends of the spectrum. Either you don't push at all and like you just wait for stuff to happen, or you feel like you constantly have to be flying around like a YY TikTok demon. And the reality is when we start to fight outnumbered, whether it's solo duos or solo trios, solo quads, kills happen in bunches, right? Like you can easily, if you play solo duos well, right? And we stick to the get a down, get a thirst, challenge enemy number 2 with momentum. I mean, it is so easy to start stringing together kills.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think, like you said, I was kind of thinking one-dimensionally. Was like, okay, I could go after them, but I like how you're like, okay, if that window doesn't work and I go up here, I can go on the back side, and if that doesn't work, then I'll go on this side. Like, you're multiple different ways. So
Right.
it's like I was thinking one-dimensional. Like, well, there's
Yeah.
only one way to fight this.
There's also the ladder over here, right? There's the ladder on
Right.
this side. There's like so many ways to get top prison.
Yeah.
The other thing that I'm thinking about, and I'll be honest with you, is like I don't care that these guys are up here. I dare them to shoot me off the buy station.
Yeah, I just realized I had 7,600 and I could have bought a UAV, and I didn't do that to get better information. So
Now that's a bigger concern, because I was thinking, okay, maybe he was a little bit nervous about going to that buy station, but the fact that you didn't recognize that you had 7,600 is definitely the bigger thing, because that tells us exactly where everybody is. You know, there's 7 teams left here. Again, this is where I always say solo duos is a game mode to really improve. It's not to drop crazy high kill games. You can drop a 20 in it for sure, but it's very difficult, because even further, like, I want you to wipe teams. I want you to get into that habit and get the repetition of down an enemy, thirst him, challenge enemy number 2 with momentum. If we were really talking about getting high kills, you like down the enemy and then leave the second guy alive. That thing is disgusting. I never used this, and now I'm sad.
oh yeah, it was very disgusting.
I never used this. So you're like still worried about that team, but we're not like... See ya. Okay, so let's see what we do from here. I mean, we get 2 positioning kills right there, which we'll absolutely take. I can't quite get it. Okay, car back behind us here. I still haven't seen like a 1v2 that I love yet, where I'm like, okay, that is exactly the way we want to do it. But we haven't started with much momentum. Okay, so there's definitely one floating around. Yup. Patience. I'm going to be honest here, I would have gotten the thirst.
Oh, okay.
I don't feel like in this moment you're in a position where you're threatened, right? So
Gotcha.
I feel like these guys are down below. They have no idea where I am. You know, let's go ahead. I'm going to take this guy out. 3 things for us, okay? So if we kill this guy, number 1 gives us the kill, right? Boom. That's, of course, what we want. Number 2 takes this guy out of the fight, which means now we're in a 1v1, right? And number 3, it obviously gives us those mini-map pings, right?
Yep.
So now it just
That makes
pieces
sense.
all together. I get the kill. Great. We add +1. We get a little bit closer to 20. But more importantly, we take this guy out, which puts us in a 1v1 situation. And then, of course, we can now challenge with momentum there and go take that head-on 50-50. Again, head-on 50-50 when we have information and the ability to anticipate. It's not really a 50-50 situation. Nice. Shots there with the LC-10. But we don't get that unless that guy bleeds, right?
Right.
Yep, we know these guys are up top here. Wait, is that guy still over there? Or is that guy dead? No, that
Yeah,
guy's
he's-
definitely dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
I think one of the biggest problems that you have right now is that range dynamic. Like,
Yeah.
you're just fighting from so far away consistently. Like, you're consistently just really, really far versus, because it's very, again, if you're this far away and like you do get it down, it can be tough to get that thirst just based on like they might be able to get to cover. I also think like capitalizing on that fire sale a little bit better, especially if we don't know where anybody is. Like, if we don't know where anybody is, like, my thought is, do I have enough for a UAV? And, like, do I have weapon pings? Those are my
Right.
2 things. And if I don't have either of those, then I'm just going to prison, or like I'm trying to figure out where people are, right? Again, solo duos a little bit tougher with the weapon ping dynamic because lobbies do die out. Quads, it's a little bit easier. I just want to really, really highlight your strafing here because, I mean, we are just straight right here. I mean, you can see slow-mo this. You can absolutely see, you can see us taking less damage right there. I mean, you can see bullet, right? Just super good job there. Obviously increasing that rotational aim assist. Would like to see you a little bit higher. You know, we're definitely a little bit low. This one's a weird one, though, because, like, we're high ground. We're kind of shooting down on this guy. We're absolutely going to take that kill, though. And pushing up to 9. You know, and I think this is one of the most interesting things going back to what we said. Like, oh, no. We haven't really had a crazy game. It's just kind of been taking good shots. Been kind of taking one game at a time, or one kill at a time. We're at 9 here. Nice job. Okay, now what do we got here? Loot. There should be loot here. We should loot this guy.
Yeah, and I still can't believe I didn't buy a UAV yet, and I still have $7,600.
Yeah.
There's a buy behind
It's
me.
hard
Like,
when you see
watching
it.
back is so bad. Yeah, I'm like, why did I not do that? That makes total sense.
Yeah, and like you just kick yourself. But also, like, okay, there we go. Last two. But where are these guys?
Right. Exactly.
I know where they are.
Yeah.
Right? If you're watching this, do you know where they are? Because I hear a bunch of shooting over here. So I know exactly where this guy is. And I look at circle here, and I say, okay, and we actually got a weapon ping right there. We did get a weapon ping in that situation. Yeah, I mean, we're at 10. That's the crazy part. Like, we haven't really... We haven't really done anything. I don't think you pushed well this game, to be honest with you. I think you play very scared. And one of the biggest things to work on, especially, again, that better players do really well, is being able to react to getting shot. Like, being able to react to getting caught off guard. And just trusting your ability. I always say trusting your ability to finesse and get out of a situation if you need to.
Yep. No, I think you said it right. That's like, it's like I'm always nervous about what if I get caught in the open, I'm going to get deleted, instead of like, look at it, if I am moving, like, where's the cover? Where am I moving to?
100%.
And all of that, and playing with more confidence instead of like this, like, you know, backseat gaming almost, where like I'm just nervous about it the whole time.
Yeah, and I think there's two things that you kind of pointed out. Number one, I don't want to get caught out in the open. Perfect. Don't. Right? So, like, make sure we're playing piece of cover to piece of cover. There's always going to be times where we have to rotate out in the open, or we kind of have to make a risky play. Biggest one I always go back to is pushing up from control to prison. Like, we are susceptible and out in the open a little bit. But, like, just pull your melee out, slide cancel, do whatever you need to do, be a hard target to hit, and get into prison. And then from there, you can figure out what your next move is. But I also think it's just, you know, understanding, like, how to break lines of sight, like, how to react to getting shot, you know, making sure that you are aware of, like, okay, how do I get out of this? You know, of course, being able to pull that melee out if you need to. Buyback. And you can see, like, buyback happened, and you're still just, like, because, like, we know where this guy is, right? So you have one guy flying in, for sure. Yeah, get him out of the sky. Oh my gosh. Come on down. The water's warm. Uh-oh. It is a tough gun to use.
Yeah.
I, of course, always am going to recommend work on aim. You know, bots, good shots. Yeah, that's wall bangable. That's good map knowledge to have. That you can wall bang that wall right there. We got circle rotation to the left side. You have gas mask. But again, we just, like, I think putting a little bit of pressure on these guys. Yeah, challenge from right there. Yep. Because you have cover to your right side here if you need it. Work all the way across. Good. Good strafing. Perfect execution right there in the 1v1. That's where we just win our ones. And look,
Yep.
I definitely think there's a lot of room for improvement when it comes to. I think one thing I would tell you is like when you are playing solo duos to improve, like don't be scared to push situations. Understand that your KD is going to drop a little bit. You're going to get frustrated at times. You can always go back to, whatever game mode you want to play, whether it's random, fill. That's even more frustrating than solo duos. Who am I kidding? Understand that this is, in my opinion, this is your learning playground. Okay, it's not where you're going to drop high kills because the lobby dies out. It's where you can go in and say, okay, I need to push and I need to like make mistakes. Like I need to be caught out in the open. I need to be, I need to lose 1v1 fights because my centering's bad. I need to miss shots. I need to misplay a 1v2 where I was a little bit over aggressive. I need to make the mistake where I don't get the thirst when I should have. And then what happens is that guy self revives and then all of a sudden I'm back in a 1v2 and they stack and they kill me. Right? I need to miss the mini map ping, at which point, I don't challenge that next guy and take the 1v1 fight. So it's, or I miss these weapon pings, or I miss this on a UAV and I got third partied. This is where things are a little bit, honestly, easiest way to put it, solo duos is slower, right? Solo duos is slower than solo trios and solo quads. You don't got to worry about 4 people. You don't got to worry about 3 people. You got to worry about 2. Lobby dies out. Now, the third partying can be a little bit different, but that's conversation for another day. Do you have any kind of last minute questions here for me?
No, I think you covered it mostly. And I think the big thing for me, the big takeaway, and I kept thinking to myself the whole time, I'm like, why am I not moving? Why am I not moving? Why am I so worried about being so careful and just being so like just slow paced and like stuck in the mud? And it's like I'm just playing cautious, and it's like that's not gonna accomplish what I'm looking to accomplish. So it was pretty eye opening.
Yeah. And 2 big things there when it comes to playing scared. Number 1, lack of information. If I tell you where everybody is, I mentioned this in the video that we did for you. Like, if I gave you wall hacks, you wouldn't play scared because you know where everybody is, right?
Yeah.
So lack of information. But I think the bigger one is just not trusting or not having the ability to like finesse and like move quick enough and understand breaking lines of sight. Like the way I view it is if somebody wants to shoot at me, great, I now know where you are. I'm going to figure out how to kill you. Right?
Right. That's a
And
perfect way to
it's
look
like
at
I'm
it.
going to get out of this situation and then figure out what my next move is. Obviously, it's taken a long time to get to that point, but
Right.
it's one of those where when you play scared, it's because you're either scared to get shot or you just don't know where anybody is.
Yeah. No,
Awesome.
perfect. That's my biggest takeaway. So yeah, I appreciate the pointing that out, Joe.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and jump into Verdansk. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into Verdansk here. We're going to be focusing on aim movement, positioning, and gameplay strategy as always. We got some solos here with Little Mupsters. And we talked briefly before, your 2.4 ED and PR was what again?
Like 20.
Okay, so around that 20, we're chasing 30. But at the end of the day, no matter how many kills you're looking for, especially in solos, it really just comes down to like knowing how to find people and ultimately knowing how to get more kills. That's the biggest thing for you chasing a higher kill game. Is like we've got to learn how to find people. We've got to learn how to like make fights happen quicker and get those easy kills, and then kind of figure out where that next move is. Good shots. Obviously not too concerned about aim. I would say like always keep that aim practice in mind. If you feel like you're struggling, go back to it. All the top pro players do it. So like even just mixing in 5 to 10 minutes before. Do you land here? I'm going to ask, do you land here often? I have some thoughts here about this drop spot.
I do not land here often. I was mixing it up as I was chasing like a faster paced game. So
Okay.
I did a little mixing it up here and there, but no, I do not land here often.
Here's my only concern about this drop spot. And this is a little bit of that map knowledge dynamic, which comes from playing more. There's not, in my opinion, obviously we have the scavenger, but there's not really enough loot here to be able to get loadout down. I could be completely wrong here, and this game there is, but because you have like 1 or 2 crates in here, you've got like 1 or 2 here, maybe 1 or 2 here, and then obviously we start getting into this area where there's other people potentially. So
Yeah.
I'm always a little bit hesitant, but at the end of the day, like, early game doesn't matter too much. You've got the scav contract, which is a huge advantage. Let's see how you challenge this here. Ooh. I'm guessing you tried to slide out there.
Yeah, I tried to do a G slide.
I love how I jump and
Yeah.
get stuck, chat. Don't y'all?
For those of you guys who don't know, just to kind of really go through this here, the G slide that he's talking about and what essentially happens is instead of him just stopping, what he's going to end up doing is sliding out this way, at which point it kind of takes him even further out here and kind of creates more of a window to take less damage. So it's a really good move. Again, I always say this,
love how I
guys,
jump.
if you are subscribed, simple
how I
movements,
jump and get
advanced
stuck, chat.
combinations,
Don't
which, by the
y'all?
way, guys, I always say this, if you are looking to get better at Warzone, just give me 30 days. Every video I do
Don't
is
you
a
just love
Rebirth
when you
portion
jump and
and
try
a
to G-slide
Verdansk
and
portion.
just-
So if you are
Isn't
looking to
this
get
the
better,
best thing ever?
give me 30 days. See what happens. Subscribe down below. Watch my videos. I promise you'll become a better player. And if not, after 30 days, let's be honest, guys, you can always unsubscribe. I totally get it, but I guarantee you that's not going to happen. You also have a YouTube channel, don't you?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to put it in the pinned comment for you guys. Make sure you go check him out as well. And let's see where we're
appreciated.
going. This is where we start getting into that just early gameplay strategy. I'm not too concerned. We're just a little bit head on a swivel here, making sure we're aware that people could potentially be around us. There's enough for loadout. Weapon pings over by heli. And that's a big thing, that area that people struggle is just checking minimap throughout. You may not hear the shooting. If you don't hear shooting, you can see it on your compass, and sometimes you can see it on your minimap.
Quick question.
Yeah.
And this is not pertaining to this game specifically, but
Okay.
when you run into the situation where you get sniped, but the sniper shot either doesn't pop up on the minimap, or they're just like a little bit away. As far as getting away from that gunfight, how do you usually approach that?
Are you out in the open, or what's
Yeah,
our
like
situation?
say for that instance, how they were shooting over by that heli, and
Yeah.
I got sniped from somewhere, but it didn't pop up on my minimap. What would you say is like a better route to get away from that instead of just like beelining straight to the buy station?
Okay, so where are we going back to? Right here? Oh, back
Yeah.
to where? Okay, so
Yeah, right here. So
did you get sniped out here, though?
no, I didn't. I'm just saying, just for a scenario where like I do get sniped and I can't tell if it's in front of me or behind me, instead of just beelining to the buy station, how would I cut line of sight and still be able to work my way towards there?
Yeah, so in this situation right here, like, first move is back in the building, right? A lot of
Okay.
times when we're unsure about information, retreat, because we know this is clear. This is a great question, right? You're in this part of the building right here, right? You know that this little hallway and this little room is clear. So if you pop out here and you get shot from like top of this building here, like over here, like down low this way somewhere, we just pop back into the building, right? And then we figure out what our next move is. There's a lot of times where almost simultaneously what's happening is I am getting to cover while I'm checking minimap. Actually, the other way. I'm checking minimap while I'm getting to cover, like as soon as I get to cover. But sometimes we don't always get that piece of information. So if it's a suppressed HDR, obviously that's a little bit tougher. We don't really know. That's a little bit of a riskier situation. If it's an unsuppressed, then we get the minimap ping or the weapon ping. Potentially, it could be from like 400 meters away and we actually don't see it. But I think exactly what you did, right? Just kind of taking a different angle, knowing that the chances of us getting sniped early game from hospital, probably not very high. So kind of staying on this little outskirt here. I've got cover to my left side. We kind of work through that building if we want to, or just know in this moment we're susceptible to that left side. But I think the big thing is just always keeping track of cover, not being afraid to retreat and go back to where you came from because you know it's safe. You've already cleared it.
Right.
Good patience right there. I love, just because he did kind of have a brief moment there where he kind of seemed like he was going to push through. Yeah, a huge part of Verdansk is that cover dynamic and just always keeping track of, what our next move is.
And I asked that because right after, like, in this next sequence, that situation happens to me. You may get audio on it, but I hear a parachute coming up. and I was unsure where the parachute went. I thought it was above me, so I thought I was safe for like 2 seconds. And then, yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so we have car. Oh, parachute. Hold on.
Please.
Yeah, so in this moment, I know exactly what you're saying. You're saying, what do we do in this situation where you have some piece of info, but you don't know any idea where it is? Get to cover. Right?
Okay.
Like, I'm
so just push through.
Right, because right here, what happens is you guess. Right? Like, you have no idea where this guy is. And then what ends up happening here is you go back for your LC-10, you know, and then you get caught by a guy that you never know is even here. Right? We're caught off guard in this moment. So it's one of those where, like, as soon as I get the smallest little inkling that somebody's around me, I immediately go into strategic mode. That's the best way to put it.
Okay.
If I know exactly where somebody is and, like, I can go into aggressive mode and take that head-on 50-50, take that 1v1 and really just challenge that guy. Very similar to the way you did right here, right? Like, we have a good sense. We're going to take this gunfight. I trust my ability to hit shots. I trust my ability to use movement. I trust my ability to get first shot off. We're going to take this 50-50, this 1v1, right? Especially in solos where we don't have to worry about those other teammates. But the moment that I don't know exactly where somebody is, I start thinking about cover. I start thinking about positioning and trying to get myself into a safer spot so that that doesn't happen. Because of how fast the TTK is, bro, you can't even react there. You have no choice.
On top.
I think he was on your level. He was right outside.
Yeah, when I went back, I looked at that, and I was like, wow.
Oh, we were just cruising. Yeah, good.
Tried the AFK glitch. It's just like, brother, what?
Let's rock.
Am I doing,
back in.
bro?
I mean, 5 kills start here early. Obviously, the downside is...
Bro.
One thing I would say, by the way, and this is for everybody. I know it's hard, but just trying to get back in that mindset, right? You know, it can definitely be tough. I get it. I've been through that situation before. Really annoying death. We've all had those gaming sessions. This could be your 5th game on, and like every game has just been super frustrating. I get it. It can happen, but trying to just, hey, it is what it is. You know, let's go ahead and relock it back in here and do that. I'll tell you what, if there's one thing that you guys take away from this video, you guys watching this, please just take this away. Please just take away how broken. Some of you guys are not going to like this, and that's okay. You can not like it. That's fine. You can say whatever you want in the comments or anything. This is how broken hip firing is. This is a floor loot GPR. Hip fire your gun, please. That's just crazy. That is just absolutely insane. Nice. And now we get a little bit of that momentum back. Good.
Yep.
Now, this is another great...
cheese too many times.
Say that again?
Said I've died to that hip fire cheese one too many times.
Oh my gosh. It is just... It's mind-blowing how good it is. Yeah. Now, farmland, and this is, again, where we talk a little bit about that, like, map knowledge, like, perfect. Just be aware, like, building to building. You know, I'm always thinking about, okay, we got to be careful here. It's a lot of open space, especially if there is somebody sitting in a building. You know, it just puts us in a really, really tough spot. Good.
Shake it off.
There it is. There it is. That's perfect. Shake it off. Right? We're right back in. Because here's the thing. You are... Now, we never want to burn Gouge early, but it is what it is. You know, it happens. We are still plenty on 20 pacing here. Still plenty on 20 pacing. Yeah, perfect. Now we just got to figure out that loadout dynamic. Also, what we've done we did one contract, which notice we see how much cash we get from this recon. I mean, $5,200. This is the importance of, doing those contracts, at least trying to do a contract early. That even, I don't even care about the early cash is one thing. If you do a recon early, right off the rip, immediately out of the, oh my gosh. I don't know if I would do that if I were you.
You might love this idea, Joe.
I do love this idea. I absolutely do love this idea. And
I will say this, full credit to you. I'm going to be completely honest. Without watching some of the content breakdown that you do in your gameplay, I promise you, I wouldn't have thought this. I would have just went straight forward and, could have died from anywhere. But
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if I think of this.
Really?
But I am not 100% convinced. But here's the good news. Now I am, and now everybody else is too. Anybody who watches, hey, look, there's going to be a lot of people who don't click on this video, and they're going to be the ones that die on these recons. Yeah, and we're just seat swapping guys so that we don't get one shot by an HDR. It's a really, really good play. Oh, guy straight ahead of you. Good shots. Good shots. Yep, and we're going to go ahead and finish this. That gives us plenty. And just like that, we've got a ton of momentum back. Now, this is where the game starts to get interesting. Because this is where I think... Because he actually sent me, just for context for you guys watching, he sent me 3 13-kill games. So this is where I'm really intrigued because something is consistently happening in your mid-game that you're struggling with.
Yes.
And I'm very intrigued to see where we go from here. So we have... Okay, so we're going supply run. Good. Supply run gives us that momentum again. Good. Use that heartbeat a lot.
And my thought process right here was, I know I have 12K. I could just go buy yourself, but if I can complete the supply run, get my contract mode, unfortunately, it goes there.
$6,400.
Yeah.
So I'm going to highlight a big thing right here. I would highly recommend running Bird's Eye in solos. Because so many people are ghosted that I just think it's so worth it from a getting kills perspective. It's so worth it from a not getting caught off guard perspective. That and your heartbeat sensor does not show ghosted players.
Bro, I would literally,
So I just think that Bird's Eye is so worth it in solos to be able to just see all of the information that. Because one big part of your pacing could be the fact that everybody feels spread out. Like there might be people around you that you have no idea because they never pop up on radar. What's this guy doing? That's nasty. Hey, buddy, come on back. Come on back. Is he coming out? Nope. Welcome to solos, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Welcome to Verdansk. Oh, he's doing the same thing. Oh my gosh. Oh, good strafing right there. Just a little bit, even though, like, this is not a situation where he's strafing to take less damage. This is 100% a situation where he's strafing to increase aim assist. Maybe a little bit less damage. But that aim assist is definitely helping.
Yeah.
Yep, now we go back. Because I'm intrigued to, when it comes down to it, I know you have the ability to get... I know you have the ability to get 30 kills if I tell you where 30 people are.
Yeah. And it's okay. I don't, every game can't be that game. But yeah.
Nice.
Like I said, I'm super happy I got selected for this video because this is something that when I do play solos, I would like a little more, I don't know, like help, coaching, just game, approach, that certain thing. So.
I mean, you played that. That's perfect so far in terms of being able to ping multiple enemies. We going straight up. Play a little outside here. Uh-oh. Good. Don't panic there. I mean, that's just perfect. That's just perfect. For those of you watching at home, let's just break this down real quick. We see the centering. We see the anticipation. This is where when it comes down to this 1v1 fight, right? First shot. But look how patient he is, right? So obviously, we get sniped in the back. Okay. Boom. We're going to push in. What do? We just break the line of sight from the guy behind us. We've got to be careful of the guy inside, though, and notice he has cover from both here, right? He can't get shot in the back. He's not going to get shot from the right. Just be very, very careful here, I will say. Kind of your last piece of information that you get from the UAV is that he's top of stairs, right?
Yeah.
So, because I don't think you get another one after this. Yeah, so last piece of information that you had was that he was up here. So right here, I mean, you're in a very susceptible position. You can hip fire. I will say the hip fire when you are actually plating with quick fix is not very good, or it wouldn't be good in this situation. So just be very careful, like resist that urge to push out too soon before you're ready to go. But from there, we kind of clear this corner here. He's going to slow peek. Remember, we know that he's right here, okay? But you can see that he can't get shot from this direction. He's going to clear here. Then obviously he's going to slide out. Really good job of just reacting there. Pretty easy kill. Now we got 2 guys again, right? So we have this guy back behind us. Let's see how you play this sniper straight across. There's your info. Oh my gosh. Nice. Really good. Quick confirmation. Good. Just one other thought here is instead of pushing into the building, right? When we push into the building and we kind of take that 50-50 there, or that 1v1 fight, it can be a little bit risky at times. We see this guy up here. I mean, what's your thought? If this guy never peeked, okay, what's your thought process here?
So this is a little bit of map knowledge combined with the fact that I did see him. I was more so playing for the car on my left more than the sniper right here.
Okay.
That is the same guy that was chasing me around the buy station.
Right.
So I didn't want him to wrap back around and take this like shack house to your left. So I know that there's a jump spot in the front side of this house. What I expected the sniper to do was exactly what he did, which is jump down, kind of like give me audio cues and make me go down the stairs or be just in a different position. So I played top of the stairs, hoping that if I get showered from both ways, I can slide up, take one gunfight, get out.
So did you see him? Or I'm trying to figure out when you saw him. Oh, so you saw him right there. Okay.
Yeah.
So that changes. If you never saw him, are you pushing in or are you taking jump spot here?
I'd probably take jump spot, or I would push into this house to my left to try to get some more shots on this car.
Yeah.
And force the sniper to like shoot me again, and like over peek that. But
I honestly don't worry about cars too much because as long as they're in the car, they're like, look, if somebody seat swap snipes you, like round of applause to them. Or, there's not many people making that play. So you kind of know when they're in and out of the car because as long as they're driving around, you're going to see it on radar. So I'm not generally too concerned about them. I would have 100% played for the sniper first and not really worried about the car. Until now. And now you start to... Come on, buddy. Come on down. Good. Uh-oh. Nice. Just a little quick thing that I like to do in solos, partially because of my ego and I like to be mean to people, but partially because it's a really strategic play, is, obviously this one's a little bit of a different situation. But like say this guy's in the building here, you push out, drop your car here and then push inside. And what you can do is as soon as you go inside, blow up his car and then he's stuck, right? Because now you remove this dynamic of having to worry about him getting away, right? So as soon as his car is blown up, now all of a sudden he's got to fight me. And it's like, okay, let's go, right? Now you end up, his car was a little bit damaged. You end up being to disable it. Perfect. We're going to go ahead. We easily get that kill there. But just a little fun thing that I like to do with people who are annoying in cars is I'm just going to go ahead. The problem is if you blow up his car in that situation, he probably takes your car. So you kind of have to be strategic about where your car is as well. I'm the king of that. Blowing up cars and then people take mine.
I gotta steal that
be
one.
a little safer than everything else. Bro, if you're out here, you're out here, bro. Like,
I love what you just
got
said
it
right there.
all the way.
You know what? Here's the crazy part. I would expect people to be out here. It's solos. I expect
Yeah.
people to be on the edge. I told you. I told you.
You got it, bro. What I say? You got it.
Yeah, you're the best. You're chilling over there. You go have your fun over there.
He's pushing down.
Nah, so this is right here where
Yeah,
you're.
this.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, when you pop advanced, like you need to be over here.
Yeah.
You know, you need to be getting, because here's the thing, and watch how this. We obviously know you finished with 13, so kind of know you're gonna get this kill. Oh, he's back in the car again, of course. You know, when I think about UAVs, the game can definitely get tough when
Off
we
my
don't
dick,
have
bro.
information, right?
Get off my dick,
Solos
bro.
can definitely get tough when
Okay.
we're just wandering around
on.
trying to figure out what our
Politely,
next move is.
disrespectfully.
You know, we
Hop
don't
off my
really
sack.
know where anybody is. We're trying to act on weapon pings, but people aren't
Okay,
fighting.
bro.
It can be really tough. So
this can be the one.
we need
bro.
to replace cash.
This can be the one.
Yeah, I
wanna
mean, there's
clear
still
this
enough.
entire cluster over here. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I mean, you wanted to.
Where
You
they
definitely
at?
had the right mindset
They're
of go
all-
push
looks
this
like they're
cluster.
all about to buy. And
But
why
you
are
could
they not
feel like
fighting?
the
Oh, 'cause
time's
they're up
getting
top.
wasted here, right?
Ooh,
Now,
yeah.
like you're trying to work your way over, but we already wasted about 30
They're up
seconds.
top. Might go there instead.
Go solo player here. Yeah, and there's our advanced UAV, right? Our advanced UAV's done, and
Yeah.
we didn't even get enough kills to buy
Could
buy
put
another
only got
UAV.
one.
I might as well.
Yeah,
For the
we
most
just
part,
we feel
I
like
don't-
we're
I feel like
and
I'm
your biggest
overstaying, bro.
decision right there is, look, I always tell people to just push. I'm like, guys,
Okay.
I don't care what you push, just push something, please. Like
Yeah.
when you pop a UAV, when you pop advance, like just please push something. Like don't completely waste it. But as you become a better player, and with where you're at skill level wise and the kills you're trying to get, the reality is you need to push it into the action. Like you can make a wrong push. Like if you push a guy on the edge of the map with a UAV up, when you have like 4 guys that are, you know, in one POI over, like that's the wrong push. Like you
Yeah,
need
okay,
to
buddy.
go start to really
Buddy, always
push.
asking
Now,
you to do something
what I will
stupid,
say
bro.
is if you are looking to get wins and that's your priority, like yeah, you can make the smart play and just kind of play your positioning and stuff like that. But I think for you, like that advanced UAV was just wasted. We got nothing. We
Okay.
didn't even get enough cash here to pop another one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do we? Also, great situation. There we go. I would also make sure we heartbeat kind of the other way and try to figure out what's happening.
So that green ping is where I was going to push to, but it's kind of in that like the river area, and I didn't want to push all the way over there with like, you know,
Two
obviously
people
no more
prison, I gotta
information.
rotate
Yeah.
in. Most of everybody else is downtown.
And this is where, like, because we burned Gulag early, we've got to be strategic. I mean, if you still have Gulag left, we could be aggressive here. You know, and it's part of the game. It happens. One guy flying in. But we also, if you remember, like, I would also be thinking about, like, I'd also be thinking about this, right? Like, okay, we know we can't really find this guy, but, like, we know that there's people over here. Also, can we just highlight this guy real quick? I mean, that is a passion. The passion in this guy. Respectable.
Yeah, he deserves it.
Respectable.
He deserves it.
Wow. I hope
For
that guy
sure.
won. But yeah, I'd be thinking about like these guys over here. You know, and there's a good cluster of people. Again,
And
the
why are they-
only thing that changes for you in this situation, and the fact that we don't have Gulag, is playing more strategic, right? Like you got to be a little bit more careful about making sure we're playing positioning, making sure we have cover. you know, making sure that if something does happen, we can get that self-revive off and then back out of that fight. Versus, you know, playing super aggressive. Nothing. This is where, like, though, for you, I mean, so, like, what are you thinking in this moment? Like, where's your head at? With 12 kills, 25 enemies, 436 on Gulag, third circle. What are you thinking here?
So the cluster on the left, I realized that the reason that they weren't fighting was because 2 or 3 of them were on like the cranes. And so I didn't want to push left. I knew that there was a kid on my green ping, but since my UAV right now, I didn't know if he rotated forward or in the blue, which is why I go up top on blue.
Yeah.
And right here, I'm kind of still like, I know the kid is close. I know that this one kid is close. I have a feeling that he's over here. By the way that the UAV looked, he wasn't doing much on the map. And so right now, I just want to find this one kid. And I'm about to give it up. I am super close to just being like, you know what? Okay, whatever. We'll just go survey downtown and see what we can find there. So that's where I'm at right now.
So here's what I'll tell you. Trust your heartbeat. Okay. So with our heartbeat sensor, right? Heartbeat sensor. Okay. We've got like, it's like 50 meters, right? We know,
Okay, I didn't know that.
we know that ghosted players don't show up, right? So ghost is a no-go, right? Which, by the way, if they don't pop up on a heartbeat and they're ghosted, I don't want to push them anyway. Right? Unless I have something concrete or something that really kind of tells me where that guy is, I don't really want to deal with this. Right? So trust this more and say, okay, I'm in here. Like, we're going to heartbeat this direction if he's not there. We're going to heartbeat here, heartbeat here, heartbeat here. Right? Just get a wide. I mean, technically speaking, if we really did it, you can go like this way and then you can go this way here. Right? And trust it. And if he's not here and you don't find him, then, like, honestly, I'd start to work, like, through, maybe try to get to this building, maybe try to get to this building. Maybe we loot up a little bit and go pop Yui here, right? If I can't find him, if he popped up on, if he was on UAV, which, by the way, I think he was ghosted if we go back, technically speaking. He was. So, like, actually, he wasn't. So we're good here, right? So this is just for anybody. When you have bird's eye or an advanced UAV, so this is what I'm looking for right here. This guy is ghosted because he's a dot. Okay, so ghosted. That might be it, right? Ghosted right here, right? So if it's just a dot, that means they're ghosted. This is when you have bird's eye or an advanced UAV. And then, of course, if it's an arrow like this, this is twofold here. This guy is not ghosted, and there's two things. That's the level that he's on. This part right here, this arrow, is the direction that he's looking. Okay, so this guy right here is down below me, down below us, looking this direction. You know, this guy right here is above us, looking this direction. You know, this guy right here, again, nowhere near us, but this guy right here is down below us, looking this direction. So just a little thing to keep in mind. But he's not ghosted, okay? So we're either going to find him here on heartbeat or, like, just let it be. There's 27 other enemies here that we can focus on. So this is where I don't like wandering on Verdansk. It's a dangerous spot to be. We have the vehicle, which is good. But let's use the heartbeat. Let's use our car to try to find weapon pings, and maybe let's loot up a little bit more here to get a little bit more cash, at which point we can pop UAV. Downtown. And I'm even okay with you just kind of looking right here for a second and ultimately trying to figure out, like, okay, like, where could this guy have gone? But at some point, I'm with you. We just got to give it up and say, which probably for me would have been a while ago. I would have been out of here so much sooner.
Yeah.
Dead. That's a different... Is he ghosted? No.
No,
Got tempered.
that's the guy that I was looking for.
And we just basically, like in this situation, okay, so like, why do you die here? I think number one, wrong color. Number one, I think you just linger too long here.
Yep.
You know, I think you just spend
100%.
too much time. We're either going to find him or we're not. And then number two, I mean, honestly, you trusted your heartbeat, right? Trust the heartbeat, but you never checked it again.
Yeah.
You know, so you trusted it in the beginning, but then you never actually checked it again. This guy at some point, that guy at some point rotated in. And honestly, you know, he was also acting on the car, right? He sees the guy rolling up on the ATV. If you were down below, you would have looked, which is exactly what this guy does. So I think when I look at this, you know, obviously solos, a lot about 1v1s. I think you clear buildings really well. Your execution is really good. I have no concerns about you winning 1v1 gunfights. Now, obviously, that's the easiest thing to improve at, you know, getting better aim, working on basic movement. I think the biggest thing for you is just that gameplay strategy, really trying to like make sure you're getting in the action. Obviously, unfortunate this game because even, you know, it's how the game happens. I mean, technically speaking, you die right here. If you didn't die early, you would have had Gulag still. You know, who knows what happens in between, but you go to Gulag, we're in regain mode. You know, you're at 13 kills or 12 kills, you know, 20 enemies left, flying back in, not in a bad spot. It's where we try to always save Gulag until later on, but it is what it is. It happened this game. Again, I think biggest thing is just replacing that cache. You know, we need to go very simply, we need to go loadout, right? Then we go info, right? And then from there, what we need to do is we need to like kills, cache, you know, and when we talk about kills, it's plural, right? And part of this is remembering info, right? So it's not just one, right? We want to basically, like you did it actually earlier really well, where like we pop UAV, we want to take note of where, let's go one step further here, right? So we pop UAV, we remember info, right? So, okay, I'm going to go kill this guy, and then I know there's two enemies over here. And then from there, we trust the heartbeat sensor to kind of confirm where those enemies are, and then we can figure out what our next move is.
Right.
Any major burning questions for today?
How do I fight downtown? Because that is another area where in solos I usually don't like to push. I understand that they're like watching you play, watching other, very good solo players play. Downtown is where you guys eat at. Like, I would say like 5, 10, maybe 15 kills come from rotating through and or being in or around downtown early mid game. And that is a huge part that like I struggle with myself. I hate fighting downtown most of the time. In the other two gameplays, I got sniped, and one of them was from downtown pushing my big game bounty.
Yeah.
And so it's just it's hard for me to get my mid game through downtown. And obviously that's where a lot of the circles either end at or move to. So
Okay, I'm going to give you 2 tips here. Number 1, don't go downtown. There's 150 people in the lobby. Metaphor will drop 40s, 30s, where he fights in military base, right? So if we have this, we can keep control. We can fight where we're comfortable. I mean, solos games, like I land train, a lot of times I rotate into like towers and like police and SOS, and then like maybe into boneyard, into storage town, into super, kind of through into airport and stuff like that. So number 1 is like fight where you're comfortable. Keep control. Obviously, there's certain moments where we have no choice based on circle but to push downtown. But fight where you're comfortable, and keep that advantage for yourself. Some people love train. Some people hate train. Some people love prom east, prom west. Some people hate prom east, prom west. Some people love airport. Some people hate airport. Get to where you're comfortable. And then from there, we can keep control of situations. Number 2 is, do you like Rebirth?
Yeah.
Okay. Downtown is
That's what.
Rebirth, but slower. Because obviously,
Hmm.
think of it that way. Like, we've got to constantly keep track of cover, right? It's going to be a little bit more close quarters. So we're going to have to anticipate well. We're going to have to, center our crosshairs around corners, make sure we're getting that first shot off, basic execution, aim and movement. It's one of those where we're fighting within buildings. And it's a 1v1. If we were talking about solo quads, we'd probably be having a different conversation. But when we're
Yeah.
talking about 1v1 fights, it's no different than the way you play this building, right? And kind of the way you kind of clear these ones, you're kind of clearing and kind of working through. It's the same exact or this one where you kind of work your way through and you just kind of anticipate. The biggest number one thing is just always keeping track of that cover. But with downtown, there's cover everywhere because there's so many different like buildings you can pop into. The other thing that I will say is element of surprise. And oh my gosh, this guy is just sitting in the corner. This guy is just sitting in the corner. Hey, that's Verdansk for you. That's Warzone.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those where keep your element of surprise. Try to be confident that you can get that down before you pull the trigger. But I go back to the first point. If you don't like downtown, don't fight downtown. Just avoid it. I mean, you can literally drive around downtown. There's 150 people in the lobby. You have the ability to execute, and you just gotta get to where you feel comfortable, and and then from there we start to string together kills. We pop UAVs. That gives us more cash. Also, you're running scavenger? Yeah, you're running scavenger, which is huge in solos. Any other questions for today?
No. Much appreciated, Cup of Joe. Like I said,
Awesome.
can I add in a couple things?
Yeah.
Um, guys, YouTube section, Twitch section, whoever sees this, take his coaching and his YouTube videos seriously. I was a person who hated Warzone, and I've been waiting to tell you this, so I'm really glad I got this opportunity. I hated Warzone around like MW2, like Ashika Island, and I see you had the Vondel or Ashika. I'm Vondel, Team Vondel all the way. Anyways, I hated it going into MW2, but I realized that if I did want to get better, if I did want to like be a decent player, I had to play. So a huge part of that is figuring out like, how do I play? What do I do? Where do I go? So I take your advice. I take, Joe Wo's advice, like get in a gunfight, just put yourself in uncomfortable situations. And honestly, bro, if you watch a Cup of Joe break down his gameplay or break down anybody else's gameplay, it really helps you understand what 90% of the lobby is thinking. These 12 gunfights do not go my way if I don't start off by just assessing my lobby, right?
Right.
The first couple gunfights I get into, I know they're like, okay, I did this could be the lobby. I feel like I'm better than most of the lobby, but Cup of Joe always says it, bro. You still got to execute. You still have to execute. No matter what lobby you're in, execution is key. So I just want to give a huge shout out to you. Appreciate the content. Keep doing what you're doing. I love it. And it has really helped me get to that 2.4 EKD player and, push my limits. So
you know what I'm going to say here. I say it every time. I didn't do anything. I just gave you the tools. You're the one who did everything. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know down in the comments below. Little bit of a different style of video today. But as I always say, let's get better today, and I will see you tomorrow.